What if communism wasn't godless? What if, instead of rejecting religion, it embraced it and used faith itself to build a society without private property, class, or inequality? Welcome to the strange and often overlooked world of religious communism. When most people think of communism, they think of Marx, Lenin, Stalin, and an ideology that denounced religion as the opium of the people. But that's not the whole story. Long before the Soviet Union, and even far beyond it, religious movements dreamed of creating communist-like societies rooted not in atheism, but in divine order. From early Christianity to Buddhist monasteries, from Islamic egalitarian ideals to radical cults in modern America, religious communism has taken many shapes. So today we're asking, what happens when faith and communism merge? Let's start with early Christianity. The book of Acts describes the first followers of Jesus as holding all things in common. No private property, no rich or poor, just a spiritual community built on sharing. Many theologians see this as the very first form of religious communism. Then move east to Buddhism. Monastic orders, especially in early India and Tibet, operated communally. Monks renounced personal possessions, lived by shared labor, and distributed resources equally. Ideals that mirror communism's vision of a classless society. In Islam, the concept of Ummah, the universal Muslim community, embraced the idea of equality and community support. Radical sects like the Qarmatians in the 9th century even established communes that abolished private property and wealth. Across cultures, faith and equality often went hand in hand. But there's a paradox here. While communism claims to free people from exploitation, religion seeks to guide them under divine law. Can the two really coexist? Enter the 20th century, when religious communism clashed head-on with political communism. Marxist states like the Soviet Union and Mao's China saw religion as an enemy, something that kept people passive. Churches were shut down, monks exiled, imams silenced, yet underground, new hybrids formed. In Latin America, the liberation theology movement of the 1960s and 70s redefined Christianity as a struggle against capitalist oppression. Priests in Nicaragua and Brazil preached a kind of Christian communism, where Jesus wasn't just a savior, but a revolutionary. Meanwhile, in America, experiments like the People's Temple under Jim Jones fused radical socialism with religious devotion. We all know how that ended in Jonestown. But it's a haunting reminder of what happens when spiritual zeal mixes with communistic ideals. So what are the implications? Religious communism shows us two things. First, that the human yearning for equality and justice often finds expression in faith. Second, that when combined, these forces can create powerful, sometimes dangerous movements. Whether it's monks living in humble communes, or political activists holding the Bible in one hand and Marx in the other. The overlap between religion and communism reminds us that ideologies are rarely pure. They blend, mutate, and resurface in surprising ways. Today, religious communism lives on quietly in intentional communities, worker-owned religious cooperatives, and monastic life around the world. And while the phrase may sound contradictory, the reality is this. Both religion and communism imagine a world without oppression, without greed, and without class. The difference lies in how they get there, through divine salvation or through revolution. And maybe, just maybe, the reason religious communism still fascinates us is because it speaks to a deeper human truth, that no matter what we believe, we long for a society built on fairness, belonging, and hope. So what do you think? Is religious communism a utopian dream or a dangerous illusion? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more deep dives into history and ideology. Check out our next video on capitalism versus communism, a day in your life.